I could have let every single excuse limit me. I could let the fact that I started without an agency limit me. I could have let the fact that I started as an adult limit me. I could have let the fact that I was a model of color, specifically a black model, limit me. I could let the fact that I'm not 5'10" limit me. I could let the fact that I had to move back to a small town from Miami limit me. I could have let my day job limit me. I could have let my college courses and college curriculum limit me. I could have let everything be an excuse, but I didn't.
5 shows made 3 million a week. You are now looking at the bestie elite. You are now looking at the bestie elite. You are now looking at the best.
Here are the 3 things that I learned from my current international modeling job. Let's talk about it. Hello, bestie. Welcome back to Becoming Our Best Selves here on YouTube. Remember, the best are never the best by themselves. So if you haven't already, like and share this with somebody that you want the best for. My name is Lola Shell, and this is my channel. I am, fun fact, an internationally working, multi-agency represented professional model. And I thought, what better way to share in real time than to make this video after I just got done and wrapped for the day for my current international modeling job. So that's why the background and everything is different. The lighting is different, hair is different, I'm different, you know. Different time zones, different area codes, different countries. No, but let's really get into it before I do any other talking. Grab your water, you know the drill, and let's get to it. So the first thing that this international modeling job taught me is that my only limit is me. So guess what that means? Your only limit is you. I'm out of the country right now. Not because of an agency, not because this client just magically found me, not because I hoped, wished, prayed, and waited, and it just magically came to me. No, I'm out of the country right now because I didn't limit myself. I'm out of the country right now because I did not limit myself. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is the model coach side of me. After coaching over 1,000 models, one thing I quickly realized is that until that model stops letting their excuses take over their career, they get to keep those excuses. Because when you argue your limitations, you get to keep them. I could have let every single excuse limit me. I could let the fact that I started without an agency limit me. I could have let the fact that I started as an adult limit me. I could have let the fact that I was a model of color, specifically a black model, limit me. I could let the fact that I'm not 5'10" limit me. I could let the fact that I had to move back to a small town from Miami limit me. I could have let my day job limit me. I could have let my college courses and college curriculum limit me. I could have let everything be an excuse, but I didn't. And because I realized that what I wanted was worth me trying, what I wanted in my modeling career was worth more than my excuses, I stopped letting them keep me where I was at. And I'm not saying I popped out the womb knowing this about myself. This is something I had to learn. But once I learned it, it radically changed what I do as a model. It radically changed how often I'm traveling as a model, how often I'm getting 4-figure bookings, how often I can get clients without my agency, how often I'm getting paid as a model, all because I stopped limiting myself to my area. I stopped limiting myself to things that were just looking for black models. I stopped limiting myself to, you know, jobs that I felt like, oh yeah, I'm a shoe-in for. I stopped limiting myself. And when I stopped limiting myself, my opportunities became limitless. But again, you don't have to take my word for it. Try it for yourself. So the second thing that I learned from my current modeling job is when you have a proven process, you will always be paid. When you have a proven process, you will always be paid. I did not just throw a rock and land this job. I knew exactly what worked for me as I was. Not me when I get, 5 inches taller, not me when I move to New York, not me, when I get X, Y, and Z agency, not me, when I gain some weight or lose some weight. No, I knew what works for me right now. Okay, I knew what worked for me as I am and where I am. Because I knew that, I could show people what I did well and why they should work with me. And because I could show people what I did well and why they should work with me, when I found clients who were willing to pay, I was the obvious choice. Do you hear what I'm saying? When I found clients who were willing to pay, who were already looking for a model who did what I did, because I could show people what I did well and why they should work with me, because I knew what I did well in the first place, as I was and where I was, when I found the clients that were already looking for a model like me, I was the obvious choice. Let it sink in. I am out of the country. I am in a country that has thousands, if not millions, of models. And yet and still, I flew in from Miami for this 4-figure booking. Let it sink in. No agency required. Why? Because I have a process. And honestly, it's the very reason why I'm still able to model throughout the pandemic. The longest time I went without having a industry modeling job was 3 months. March 2020 to June 2020. By June 2020, I was back on an actual set, industry level, because the process is the same. It's the very reason why I could work with models and teach them how to get their next paid job in 2 weeks or less, even when they don't look like me, even when they're not in my area, even when they're twice my age, even when we have nothing in common except for the fact that we're both women. They're still able to use the same process that booked me this international job to book them their jobs. Because the process works for you as you are and where you are, not who you aspire to be one day, not you if you were Tyra Banks, you right now. Because I know in this industry that there's space for anybody to be a model and that everybody can find paid work. I made a process that made sure that no matter what happens to me, no matter if I get older, if I grow taller, if I gain some weight, if I lose some weight, if I get tattoos, if I get a job, if I don't have a job, I know how to make money with or without an agency, because the process is proven to make sure I stay paid. And when you have a proven process, you too will stay paid. Stop guessing and get to knowing. And if you want more resources on that, you can always drop the word model in the comments below. I'll send you all the resources that we have inside of the Model University, which is where I coach models one-on-one. You can take what you need, leave what you don't. If you want to hop on a call so that we can put together a strategy for your modeling career, you can always book a free sales call in that link if you drop model. But if you just want the resources like the social media, the blog, the podcast, that'll be there too. The last thing I learned from my international modeling job today is that you are your biggest asset on set. You are your biggest asset on set. I want you guys to understand, and I'll do a full breakdown separately about this job and the whole, I'll pull the curtain back and you guys can learn all about it. But there were so many changes to this job. There were so many changes to the job. And when I'm telling you, from the time I got booked, from the time I said, yes, I'll do this job, we went from 2 days at a certain rate to an increase in rate to these are the dates for the job. Okay, no, we're moving dates to, hey, we made some more changes. Instead of needing you for 2 days, we only need you for 1 day. Hey, instead of coming in at this time, we need you to come in earlier. There were constant changes. I did not let what I could not control stop me from showing up how I could control. I know I'm going to stay paid. I'm always going to make money. I'm always going to be able to make money as a model. I understand on a fundamental industry level that there are always a lot of moving parts. People from this production are from all over the United States, as well as international. There's a lot that goes into the set that's created for you to show up on as a model, which is why I love what I do, because the hard part's already been done. I just got to come in and deliver what you guys came here for. Deliver the vision, sell the product. That is my job. But because I'm me, and I understand that modeling is what I do, but I am dealing with people. A client might have hired me, but I am working with people. And the one thing about working with people is you want to put your best foot forward. Because no matter how tired you are, they've been there longer. No matter how, whatever the elements might be, if you're shooting on location, they're in those same elements. No matter what happens, when you leave set that day, they still have to work on this project. So the least I could do is be a pleasure on set. The least I could do is show up with a smile, a good attitude, and ready to do my job. And ready to do my job. And because I showed up in a way I could control, even though there were things that were happening that I couldn't control, going from expecting a 2-day payout to a 1-day payout, I could not control that. But you would never know from me being on that set that I'm only working 1 day. You never know. To the point where the creative director pulled me aside as we were walking towards our next set. We had a couple of different locations for the shoot. And they said, you know, I would really love to bring you onto set tomorrow. Are you like still available? Because they told me I went from 2 days to 1 the day before I got there. So I could have made other plans. I could have got other bookings, et cetera, et cetera. So they asked, and I was like, you know what? No, I do this. So I still left the time slots that I was originally told open. And so for them to want to bring me on tomorrow, that's no problem with me. Do you see? If I did not worry about what I could control, which was my attitude, how I showed up, what I delivered, if I did not focus on what I could control, I might not be on set tomorrow. I'd have still did my job. I would have still delivered, but my biggest asset, the reason I got booked again for another day, which is this is not the first time that's happened to me on set, the reason I got booked for an additional day was not just because, oh, you were good at your job. It's because I was a really good person to be around on set. I made everybody else's job as simple as possible. I did what the client asked. I tried the things they wanted me to try. I gave him my freestyle. I did what I could professionally do for their vision. I made it fun. I made it a joy to be around, and I did my job, but I also did me. And that is not just something that is like, oh, such a small detail. That small little detail made all the difference in the day and how I showed up, and more importantly, how I'm getting paid. Okay? It seems so small, but if I had chosen to have an attitude, if I would have chosen to be on my phone all day, if I would have chosen to be closed off, if I would have chosen to just not be personable, could have gone a different way. Now that one, I don't need you to see for yourself. I'm just going to tell you that up front. Give you that for free. Okay? I did it so you didn't have to. So that's everything for the 3 things that I learned from my international modeling job. This was such an experience. I cannot wait to give you guys a future breakdown of things that I learned on set tomorrow. I can't wait for you guys to see the vlog of everything that I've done while I was traveling. And I really, really, really hope that by seeing what I was able to do, by not limiting myself, by having a process that is proven to get me paid, and by being a big asset to myself on set, you see that it's possible for you too. You see that it's available for you too, because it is. All right? So, as always, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.